Hey everyone, it's Jason Wiley here, and welcome to the YouTube Multicultural Summit. Now, you might be asking yourself, who is he? And what is he doing in that studio? And where is all the glitz and the YouTube people that tell me all about the latest and greatest on the platform? No worries, we're gonna get to all that. But first, I wanted to take a minute to chat with you about something important to me and my channel on YouTube. Perspective and empathy. For a lot of us, the past 20 months have been eye-opening to the experiences, stories, and accounts of others, and to the inherent differences that we all bring to the table. I admit, at times, it felt like the world was more starkly divided than ever before. But amongst all the differences, we've seen people from all walks of life come together in powerful ways, finding both the means and the mediums to connect authentically, understand one another, draw closer, and as a whole, contribute to the rich fabric of our culture. This is especially true on YouTube, where everyone has a story worth telling and everybody wants to be heard, where millions of viewers come each day to explore their personal interests, uncover shared values, and hear from diverse voices that make the platform a place for endless cross-collaboration and creativity. That's why I became a YouTube creator over 11 years ago, so that I could make videos and content that bridge people together, evoke empathy, and inspire others to curate our shared culture together. You see, my life changed 11 years ago when my 22nd birthday happened to coincide with the Haiti earthquake. I knew I had to do something about it. So we went to a New York subway stop to busk and sing to raise $100 for Haiti. That day we raised about $80, but I decided to try something new and upload my first video to YouTube. What happened next was something I never would have expected. Within a week, the video got over 10,000 views and raised thousands of dollars for Haiti. At that moment, I saw how powerful YouTube could be to build a community around empathy for human good. And that insight led to the launch of Jubilee Media. Now with over 6.7 million subscribers and 1.4 billion views, I've transformed my channel to a full-blown media platform with 28 people on my team and a place where people can come and tell their stories authentically. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Anyways, that's why I'm here with you today, to make sure that you're ready for what's next with online video content. Because the cultural composition of consumers is changing, and it's changing fast. In the United States, multicultural people make up 43% of the population, making multicultural viewers a major part of the mainstream. And they want to see something different, something authentic, something that resonates with them, yet is flexible enough to bring others along on that journey. So get comfy, we're gonna hear from some of those experts I mentioned earlier, and we've got the newest YouTube trends, insights, and tips to help you connect with the new multicultural mainstream. Wanna see what I'm talking about? Check it out.
I am so excited for this video.
Welcome to my YouTube channel.
1 million subs!
Thank you so much for all of the amazing support I've been getting from you guys.
I feel like I have a responsibility to use my platform to say a few things and share my perspective.
Even when we're going through things, we're there for each other, and that's what's important.
I love being able to use the influence and the platform I have right now for positive things in the world.
I want to try to be something to look up to for kids like the 15-year-old me.
Afro-Latina, black, brown, beautiful.
The thing I really want to see is more of us at the table and setting the menu.
We are amazing. We are strong. We are beautiful.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the YouTube Multicultural Marketing Summit. I'm Sarah Carberry, and I lead the U.S. Multicultural team at YouTube. We help brands strengthen the cultural relevance of their campaigns. This past year has completely transformed conversations around culture and multicultural consumers. We're currently experiencing one of the biggest cultural shifts in history. And it's incredible seeing how that shift is coming to life on YouTube. Viewers on YouTube are now younger, more culturally diverse, and care deeply about today's social issues more than ever before. And Gen Z, our youngest segment, is on track to be the largest and most ethnically diverse generation in the US ever. What's even more interesting is the rapid shift in the way these viewers consume and connect based on what matters most to them, with video being increasingly more important to their lives. According to Nielsen, multicultural consumers are adopting streaming services faster than the general population, with streaming households set to outnumber pay TV households in the US this year. Multicultural consumers can now watch what they want, when they want it, right in their living room. And the one thing that's clear, the indispensability of YouTube among multicultural consumers. According to ComScore, YouTube is #1 in reach and watch time among ad-supported streaming services in households with at least one person who identifies as Black, Asian, or Latinx. For many of these consumers, YouTube is a place to find a sense of community, build meaningful connections through creators and content they love. YouTube has transformed the way multicultural consumers enjoy their passions. In a recent Google commissioned study by Sparketing, over 75% of multicultural viewers said they feel that YouTube is a platform that has content relevant to them. But multicultural consumers aren't just consuming content, they're also creating it. Over the past year, we've seen views from multicultural creators increase as mainstream audiences from all over the world are watching. For instance, music videos from genres like K-pop and hip-hop generate over 1 billion streams each. And for the first time ever, hip-hop took all 10 spots on the YouTube Most Watched Music Videos list. The top song, Life is Good, generated almost 2 billion views to date. And when K-pop icons BTS released their video Butter in May, they set a record for the biggest music video premiere on YouTube, with more than 108 million views in the first 24 hours. And we're seeing growth across Latin music content too. Watch time for US Spanish language music lineup increased by 20% year over year. Artists like Rosalía and my favorite, Maluma, are finding success with US audiences without the traditional crossover songs or English translations. But music is just one way YouTube reflects the cultural shifts in the world around us. The rise of multicultural content and creators can be seen across so many other areas, like food, beauty, technology, and even media. But for advertisers, knowing how to connect through content is just as important as knowing how to create it. In a recent survey conducted, we found that multicultural consumers want to see 3 things from brands. First, authentic and inclusive representation. While about 1/3 of viewers who self-identified as Black, Latinx, and Asian think it's important that advertising on YouTube shows people of their own ethnicity or race, they find it even more important that those ads show people of varying backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives. Second, connecting through personal interests and shared values. Over half of viewers who self-identified as Black, Latinx, and Asian say that it's important that advertising on YouTube is relevant to their personal interests, like cooking, sports, and entertainment, but also takes on more critical issues like social causes. And last but not least, connecting through authentic voices. Nearly 80% of multicultural consumers say they seek out content that makes them feel connected with the people they identify with. And more than 50% describe YouTube creators as reliable and helpful, meaning that viewers see creators as trusted sources for information. Our diverse creators continue to be the drivers behind YouTube and the key to connecting with multicultural consumers through their passions and their interests. The more that we can invest in creators, the more we can authentically connect with consumers. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're so excited to share the new tools, content lineups, and sponsorship opportunities that can help you resonate with the right audience in the right content across all screens. Let's hear from YouTube trends expert Ernest Petty on multicultural content trends we're seeing right now on YouTube. Over to you, Ernest.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. My name is Ernest Petty, and I'm the Global Research Lead for the Culture and Trends team at YouTube. I get to study the interesting things people create and the quirky things they're drawn to, and lately our team has been focusing on Black creativity, something that's been fueling trends on YouTube since its earliest days. Through that research, we've gained insight into how underrepresented communities, Black, Latinx, Asian, all communities, drive trends. To start, let me take you back to the beginning of this year when a UCLA gymnast named Nia Dennis performed a routine that went viral. The routine was special for Nia because she was dancing to some of her favorite hip-hop songs. For her, she was celebrating her culture, and when UCLA shared the video, they included the caption, "This is what Black excellence looks like." That post and many other shares of the video created space for people, especially Black people and specifically Black women, to connect with each other in their appreciation of Nia's accomplishment. In this video, as a viral phenomena, you find 3 components of the utmost importance to the formation of digital communities among multicultural consumers. First is representation. Only 9% of women participating in collegiate gymnastics are Black, and yet here was a Black woman demonstrating excellence in her field. Second, social connection. This video created a space for people who identified with Nia to find each other through sharing and commenting on the video. And last, but most crucially, cultural cues. It wasn't just the excellence of Dennis's routine that allowed it to stand out. It was also the music that she chose and the dances that she performed between tumbling passes that announced the routine as a product of Black culture. These 3 ingredients, representation, social connection, and cultural cues, fueled the popularity of this video and are core to the YouTube experience. So let's break this down into its core components. First is representation. As an avowed anime-loving blurred, I can tell you that growing up, I did not feel as though I or my tastes were represented in traditional media. Traditional media portrayals were, and kind of still are, limited by what studios wanted people to see. On YouTube, though, young anime-loving blurreds today can find creators like Caleb City and RDC World 1 lampooning the tropes of anime for their combined 8 million subscribers, trending in multiple countries around the world. When it comes to interests, 78% of Black, 73% of Latinx, and 68% of Asian self-identified viewers say that it's very important that the creators and content they engage with share similar interests as them, which suggests that interests drive trends, and with almost any interest you can imagine, you can probably find a creator from an underrepresented community creating representation in that area. Casual Geographic is a Black creator interested in zoology who's earned over 1 million subscribers this year alone, telling you exactly how wild animals would ruin your day. Cooking? Lisa Wen is an Asian creator whose videos, including a series in which she invents new spring rolls, have been viewed over 1 billion times this year. Book Lover? A whole community of Latinx booktubers had a readathon on YouTube called Latinxathon. And it isn't as though people from underrepresented communities were never into these things, it's that they never had the visibility in traditional media. But with YouTube, they can create representation, which is how a tiny drummer with a love of rock and roll was able to go from uploading a video to YouTube to drumming on stage with one of the world's largest rock bands, and will probably inspire a generation of young girls like her to aspire to the same. It isn't just watching people who look like you and share your interests that drive trends, though. We found that people find social connection through the issues and topics that are important to them. We've identified an emerging class of Black tea channels, for instance, that share gossip and news related to Black entertainment. These channels, often through YouTube's live chat, provide a place for people to gather and chat with each other and with the creators about this news, which isn't typically covered in mainstream news outlets. That's how content fosters social connection. 79% of multicultural YouTube viewers say that they seek out content that makes them feel connected with the people they identify with. And this kind of content is one of the ways that they do that. As a result, creators like Tasha K and Lovely Tea are nearing 1 million subscribers, while Impressive has already passed it. As I mentioned before, there are 3 key components, and the last and most important are cultural cues. In the past couple months, Desmond Dennis has been among the most subscribed creators in the United States, right up there with Mr. Beast. He got his start several years ago by going viral with R&B covers of children's songs. Among all the parodies and covers, Desmond Dennis stood out with videos that had traits reflective of his culture. You could call it swag. This creates familiarity that increases the relatability of the content and the creator within their community, while allowing them to stand out from the creators and content coming from outside their community. Similar to what Sarah framed up for us earlier, when you combine representation, social connection, and cultural cues, you have the ingredients necessary for communities to create trends. And I'm not talking about one viral video or whatever the latest dance challenge is. No, we're talking deeper and longer lasting trends, the deeper dynamic that fuels all those dance challenges. So let's return to that gymnastics video that we talked about earlier. This isn't the first of such videos. 2 years ago, Caitlin Ohashi went viral. A few years before that, Sofina de Jesus. These videos just keep emerging. In fact, 9 of 10 of UCLA Athletics Channel's most viewed videos are gymnastics routines from women of color representing a variety of communities, Asian, Latinx, and Black. These women may be underrepresented in the sport, but the world made sure they were seen through the power of online video. That's the influence of the community being demonstrated. And that influence is powered by the combination of representation, social connection, and cultural cues. And it doesn't exist without the creativity of these creators. Tapping into the creators whose work lays the foundation for these communities allows you to support these communities, bolster their influence, and remain ahead of all the trends to come. Oh hey, Pao, Sal. It's in no way a coincidence at all that you're at the summit too. I'll let you take it from here. Bye, everybody.
Hi everyone, I'm Paula Castro, Multicultural Business Lead at YouTube.
Y yo soy Salvador Maldonado, Multicultural Media and Marketing Manager at Google Media Lab.
We know for some of you, multicultural marketing is a new frontier, and reaching these consumers is important to your business. But no matter where you are in your journey, our teams are here to help. And today, we'll share 3 ways to make your multicultural marketing work harder for you on YouTube. As we heard earlier, multicultural consumers are one of the fastest growing segments across all screens. So showing up in the right environments to engage with them matter more than ever before. We know multicultural consumers connect through the unscripted content that reflects their experiences and passions like beauty, sports, and entertainment, and especially music. In fact, over 2 billion logged-in viewers watch a music video each month on YouTube. And music is the most consumed genre on YouTube among Black, Asian, and Latinx audiences. As the #1 ad-supported streaming platform for multicultural consumers, YouTube is now essential for advertisers who want to reach these consumers online and at home. In a recent study, Comscore reported that YouTube now reaches 42% of US households with at least one person who identifies as Hispanic or Latinx, 56% of US households with at least one person who identifies as Asian, and an incredible 71% of US households with at least one person who identifies as Black. As the number of people who identify as multicultural consumers increase, it's now business critical for brands to find new ways that engage with this audience.
That's right. When we launched our Multicultural Media Center of Excellence, the goal was to evolve the media planning process to help brands create more inclusive and effective media plans for their advertising campaigns. And now we have a few strategies that show where and how you can engage these consumers across our platforms. First is to reach multicultural consumers where they are. We know that YouTube is an essential starting point to drive reach since Black and Latinx viewers are highly engaged on the platform. At Google, we expanded our media plans to include placements across culturally relevant content and content made for and by multicultural groups. It included a 15% minimum spend commitment on media that reaches Black and Latinx audiences in the US. We also invested in channels that reach these audiences at scale.
Adding culture-relevant content to your media buy is an effective way to align with multicultural creators and leverage their platforms to amplify your brand message. Remember, nada es más real y más auténtico que nuestros creadores de YouTube. When surveyed, over half of multicultural viewers describe YouTube creators as helpful and reliable, which means when making purchase decisions, multicultural consumers turn to YouTube creators for authentic reviews on brands, products, and services. And through YouTube's branded content offering, Brand Connect, we can help you reach an engaged audience and tap into creators to make scalable content. Brands like Calvin Klein that have leveraged YouTube Brand Connect saw a 235% lift in search and have sold out of products using the shopping shelf.
Our second strategy is to leverage cultural moments and passion points. When we launched our Most Searched campaign to celebrate Black History Month, we ran placements across cultural moments that we discovered had the largest Black audience viewership, such as the NAACP Image Awards, NBA All-Star Game, and the Grammy Awards. The result was a 13 percentage point lift in brand advocacy among adults ages 35 to 49. Not too bad, right?
YouTube sponsorship packages are a high-impact way for you to connect with audiences during these moments. We're thrilled to announce that we now offer an expanded series of YouTube sponsorships and original content, all within YouTube Select, to help you own the biggest temple and cultural moments of the year. Brands can now reach audiences across moments like Black History Month, International Women's Day, and my favorite, Latin Awards season.
Another way brands can enhance engagement among multicultural consumers is to build a more inclusive digital journey. As your media plan becomes more inclusive, your ad experiences should too. Developing a relevant journey from creative to landing page ensures you get the best results for your campaign. For instance, we ran a test for the Pixel 5 phone that used Spanish language ads to drive Spanish-speaking audiences to 2 different landing page experiences. One page was in English and the other in Espanol. Consumers who were driven to the Spanish landing page were 3 times more likely to add a Pixel product to their carts. Finally, we've learned that inclusive means different things in different places. Multicultural marketing should not be a one-size-fits-all approach. We recommend working closely with your local teams across regions to build campaigns that reflect and respect local nuances.
Showing up in the right environments with the right voices is extremely important. But hey, that's not enough. You also need the right creative with the right message. And that's where YouTube and Google can help the most. Our cultural labs offer immersive consultations to help brands deepen their cultural insights and create campaigns and creative that resonate with these customers according to their specific industries. Brands who learn to create more culturally relevant experiences in the spaces and moments that matter are positioned to see greater results with their media buys. Okay, that was a lot of information to take in, but don't worry, we've got you covered. After the show, look out for more information about everything we've shared with you today. And if you have more questions, reach out to us through your Google and YouTube contacts. So let's hear from brands who are well on their way to more inclusive and multicultural marketing.
You know, I think if you don't lean into inclusion, I think you're out of business. It's that simple. My name is Heather Stewart, and I am the General Director of Global Media and Marketing Services at General Motors. One of the most simple things, but frankly constructive things that we did as a company is we sat down with many diverse-owned media owners to really try to understand what their challenges were, what the obstacles that they were facing, and how we could be a better partner. I think it's great that we have some companies really leading the way here, but it's going to take every single one of us rowing in the same direction to change the systemic issues that face minority businesses and minority media in general. So at General Motors, we launched our campaign last year, Everybody In. It's really about advancing a safer world for all. And when you think about advancing a safer world for all, you have to have inclusion, because if you don't feel included, you don't feel safe. We have a long storied history and relationship with YouTube and Google. And it became apparent to me, just follow your audience. What are people watching, right? The younger audience is the most multicultural group in the world. And they set trends, they set expectations for brands, they challenge us, and their viewing of YouTube content is unparalleled. So I think that was the first signal, and we as marketers always pay attention to signals. But the other thing is, in those conversations with many of their diverse-owned media partners, many of them have successful platforms on YouTube, right? I think that we found that there's a lot of robust consumer information that can be learned from YouTube. And what are the behaviors of consumers? What is the sentiment that can be gleaned from YouTube? There's creators that are all over YouTube that can connect with audiences that we want to reach. So there's many layers to the YouTube relationship. And I think the other side of it is that I think that platforms can do a lot to help amplify all the other work that's going on. We need our big partners like Google and YouTube to be on the journey together and to be part of Everybody In for inclusion.
All right, so we've covered a lot today. The power of authenticity, connecting through personal interest and social connection, but we wanted to hear from someone who exemplified this throughout her entire career. Not only has her artistry redefined culture time and time again, but her power, poise, and influence has inspired millions around the world. Please welcome Mary J. Blige.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Is it okay if I call you Mary?
Sure.
Okay. Something that's changed since when you first came out onto the scene is how much the culture and the industry has evolved, and how not only do you have to be heard, but you have to be seen, right? Like with social media. Have you kind of dealt with that shift in culture and that accessibility?
In the 90s, you were a mystery. All the hip hop artists from back in the days were a mystery, but nothing is a mystery anymore. It's a miracle what social media has done with just, being able to, advertise a album or a show or a song or a picture. And I was so happy that I could be a part of people's sunshine. And then when I heard all the, the comments and, things people had to say online, social media is great for, positivity, it's good.
Can you talk about why music is such a great representation for different voices and authenticity and multiculturalism in particular?
Well, music is the biggest way to connect. Like, it's all our lives since we were babies. We remember songs that made us connect, that made us come together, made us sing together, just it's the biggest form of communication.
Yeah, and it can kind of bring us back to our childhood or kind of help us even experience and understand someone else's experience. Speaking of music, I feel like music has just evolved and it's changed so much. Not only are you listening to it now, you're watching music videos on YouTube, and it's changed quite a bit. You've had a channel on YouTube now for 12 years. Can you tell me a little bit about what that's been like for you to be able to build a channel, connect with subscribers, reconnect with some people? What has it been like for you to build that channel?
Amazing. I mean, everything social media, when it's positive, is amazing because you're making a connection to people all over the world that you never probably even visit their country.
Right.
But you're touching you're touching their children. So it's just beautiful, all positive.
And something that you've managed to do that a lot of brands haven't been able to do is grow like a really organic and beautiful audience. Like on YouTube in particular, you've got over 2 million subscribers. What is the secret to success there for you?
I mean, just the fan base just loving you the way they do, and you just giving them what's necessary because they believe what you believe. So if you're phony with it, they feel that you're phony with it. So if you're giving them love and positive, whatever Mary J. Blige is giving them that's real from her, that's the secret, I think, for me.
I feel like you've done such a successful job at building a great, not only brand, but community around the brand. But I feel like it's something that a lot of brands are struggling with, actually, as far as reaching diverse audiences or like really authentically telling their story. What do you think about for your brand, or what do you think is some of the reasons why some brands still have issues connecting with diverse audiences?
I know for me, it's about honesty and caring about the consumer. People are not cattle to me. People are not numbers to me. It always comes back to me like successfully, like in full, because I care. I know what's in my product. I'm using it. I'm the guinea pig. I've been wearing it for years.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what works, just caring about the consumer.
I feel like the theme of everything that you're talking about is like just really being authentic, not only to yourself, but also to honor your audience.
Yes.
To honor your fans who've been on the journey, not to sell them something that you wouldn't use yourself, but really respect them.
Right.
Before we wrap, I know your fans want to know, what do you have going on? What's coming up next?
Okay, I have new music, a new album coming.
Okay.
Of course, the wines, is out there, and the halftime show. That's about it right now.
That's a lot. So thank you so much for your time and for sharing so vulnerably with us. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, I told you, it's all happening on YouTube. Content that was once considered niche is now the norm. And like Mary just said, culture is the future of online video and what's next for your brand and business. And like I said, YouTube is an amazing place for authentic perspective and also to build empathy that spans borders and lines that once divided us. People are not only streaming what they love, but they're defining what's the new mainstream. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. You can rewatch all this amazing content on the YouTube Advertisers channel. See ya.